My next challenge is to write The Adventures of Redman, Volume 2. A year ago, I had the challenge of writing a comic book for my nephew. I made a video about it. If you haven't seen it, you can go watch it now, or you can look up here. I'll put it over there. The whole book's going to play, so you can see what you missed, while everyone else, you can listen to what I'm talking about, because I'm going to make a new book. He's another year older. He wants another adventure. He's much better at reading, so there are going to be a lot more words, and that essentially gives me more opportunity for silliness. So also jam-packed, filled with that. Had a little discussion with my parents, my brother. We came up with this page of, I don't know, notes slash ideas slash breakdown of what the book's going to be. Next step is to write the actual story. So let me just give you a rundown of it real quick. The enemy of the last book was a Ditto. He said he wanted a green alien this time, so we're going to go with Pokemon again. It's going to be Tentacool and Tentacruel, but we're going to color them green. They're going to throw meatballs instead of spike balls. Redman's also got some bags of tricks. It's still going to take place in Tommytown, the woods outside of Tommytown. It's going to be even less of a comic book than the last one was. My inspiration here is this Dr. Seuss book. How they'll have sometimes it's one word, one page of words, and one page of pictures, or some words and some pictures, or stuff like that. Sometimes there's a lot of white space. That's the idea, is that it's more of a picture book than a comic book. Some of them I'm even going to leave blank and let him color in, which makes it easier for me and also makes it more of his story because he colored some of it, right? So anyway, the next step for me is to write it. I have a plot outline, which I'll run through real quick for you. Should I do that? Yeah, let me run through. Do I want to? It's going to start off, Redman's already in Tommytown. Then Smokey the Bear runs up, and he's like, yo, you need to help me. There's aliens, and they're destroying the forest. So then Redman and Smokey are going to drive out to the forest, where you're going to see all these tentacles cutting down all these trees. He's going to get in a fight with them. That's when they throw the meatballs. Eventually, he's going to take care of them. They're all going to run away with the trees, and he's going to chase them, because that's what you do when someone runs away. Eventually, get to this big pile of all the cut down trees with the Tentacruel on top of it, lighting it on fire, making a big smoky mess. They're going to fight. He's going to eventually defeat the Tentacruel and save the world again. That's the rough outline. Next up comes the writing, which I'm going to attempt to do in a Dr. Seuss rhyming style. Hopefully I can make it rhyme. If not, it'll at least have Dr. Seuss enthusiasm behind it. On the faraway island of Salamazand, Yertle the turtle was king of the pond. That's how this one starts. Sighed Maisie, a lazy bird hatching an egg. I'm tired and I'm bored and I've kinks in my leg. What a special day down in Tommytown. What a special day it was in Tommytown. Repainting the Acme building brown. Alright, we got the AA. Now what's the BB? People had gathered. Something with crowd. See Redman throw the first layer of paint on, right? I'm going to make use of Rhyme Zone. It's a website. Get your rhymes out. Shout out to Ari at home for letting me know about this one. Let's see. The people had gathered all up in a crowd. I kind of feel like I'm writing a Christmas story, And I also really don't like AABB rhyme scheme, so I'm like really having to fight this. But hopefully I get into the zone here. What a special day it was in Tommytown. They were finally repainting the Acme building brown. The people had gathered all up in a crowd to see what St. Nicholas had something and wowed. To see Redman plow. um, to see Redman painting. It's certainly wowed. Is wowed a word? Wowed? Alright. Bam! First paragraph, Donzo. He was such a figure, he stood tall and proud. Everyone heard it, he was so loud. Now I'm going to, in caps, say what he says, and it's not going to rhyme with proud, so I'm going to just pick another word. What do I want him to say? I want him to say something about something. Any rhymes off enough? Make it one color's enough. Gruff, no. No, yeah, we can say it. So he gets one line of dialogue. Make it one. Susie likes to repeat the same words like that. One color's enough. This will make it do. I don't want to say his voice was gruff because then my nephew's gonna be like, what does that mean? I'm like, I don't know. It's like a snuffy, scruffy, sluffy, spiffy, bluffy, tough. Covering up the squiggle sure was tough. No. Stuff. Yeah, something. Okay, we'll throw up some more dialogue. Something, this stuff. Make it one color's enough. Let's cover up this squiggly stuff. Because squiggly is a good word. Alright, so that's a callback to the way my dad colored the Acme building. I am going to reduce the font size a little bit. Might be harder to read on the YouTube video, but I want all my lines to be like one sentence, essentially, so that it's easier to judge how many syllables there are. That's good enough. Alright, page 1 done. That'll be that scene there, and then honk, honk, honk. How many words are my sentences? Let's analyze this a bit. They burst out like rockets all over the place. They waved in the air and they swished in the breeze, and some were as long as the branches of trees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are like 10 words long, and they still kept growing. They popped and they popped until long after sundown, and finally they stopped. I feel like my sentences need to be longer. And although all through that night she was stuck on that hill, and Gertrude McFuzz might be stuck up there still. Gives you a lot. Make it one color's enough. Yeah, I need my sentences to be longer. Gives you more room to actually put story before you have to use the rhyming word. Bass drum does not rhyme with them. Neither does bum. What on earth? Gum? How are they pronouncing them? On the hood of the car sat a frog and a toad. So let's stick with my brain first. Redman, thank goodness I finally found you. You, too, who, knew, few, loo, goo, zoo, two, poo, chew, shoe, zoo, foo, boo. Oh, this is a bear talking as well, so I gotta keep that in mind. So this should be growly words. Goodness, I finally found you. Grrr. You have to help me. You don't know what to do. Alright, narrator gets to talk. Smokey the Bear had driven in haste. He knew there was no time to waste. He brought with him terrible news. I'm gonna repeat news, I think. News of aliens. News of a disaster. I know that disaster is going to be hard to rhyme with, but it needs to be a sharp thing, not aliens or an attack. It needs to be a double syllable word. Disaster, master, or faster. We'll go with master or faster. An alien attack in the woods. The woods of Lancaster. Yeah, let's go with the woods of Lancaster. In the woods of Lancaster. Chopping down trees and starting a fire. Only you can protect forest fire. Eventually he's going to say, only you can. Yeah, so it's going to end with, I need you to prevent a forest fire. So before that, we got you're chopping down trees and stacking them up in a massive, huge tower that keeps getting higher. That sentence is so awkward. Okay, whatever. There's another paragraph of dialogue for the bear. I think that I'm going to be doing a lot of editing here, which is cool because I haven't edited things since I was in college writing papers. So anyway, I'm going to keep writing a lot more because we haven't gotten to any of the story yet. And let's cut to the end of the book. I'm having so much fun writing this. Let me read this to you since I don't think you can read it. The aliens got back to work when they heard the bell. They zipped and they zapped, they cut and trees fell. They picked the trees up, then they tossed and they hurled. They're going to use those trees to take over the world. Redman, that's crazy. How would they do that? To take over the world, you must use a cat. Or at least a rat with a hat and a bat and a little bit of rhinoceros scat. At the very least, you will need all of that. Mr. Bear, that is nonsense. I don't have time to listen. We must get closer. Let's change our position. The man and the bear crept closer quite carefully. They hid behind trees and boulders temporarily. Now a bear can hide in the woods quite easily, but Redman stood out like a sore thumb. So genius, right? It's such a harsh break to the rhymes, and then it's saying you stood out, like that line stands out. Oh, I love it. I feel like the reader, or an adult, might find it funnier than a kid, but I don't know. I think the kid will find it funny too. And he's Redman, so he sends out like a sore thumb, like it's red. There's so many levels to it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyway, we're getting there. I am about halfway through the plot outline, but probably only like 20% through as far as words go. I got some important stuff coming up. I finished writing the story, sent it off to my editors, and after a 6-hour editing session, we have the final story. It all rhymes. My mom went through the whole Dr. Seuss book just to verify my claims that there were lines in there that didn't rhyme and let me know that I don't know how to read. So we made it rhyme, took care of that. It's 1,000 words, which is like 10 times bigger than the first book. But he's like 10 times better at reading, so it feels appropriate. Next up is to design the book a little bit. When I was creating the first book, I did it like this, where I came up with a picture and like a line or two for each picture. And then came up with this to sort of design the layout, saying this is how each page flap would look. I want to do a similar thing, but this time it's a lot more words. So I've printed out all of the words with line numbers. And now I'm going to cut it and organize it on another piece of paper to create the same thing. So like I'm going to say all these words will be at the top of the page. And then I'm going to draw in a rough sketch of what I want to be down below. And then since I can only find one paper clip, I'll just tape them together and I'll essentially have a rough draft of the book when I'm finished. I think that's a good way to do it. I don't really have pictures in mind. I do want some fancy stuff. Like I really like this page in the Dr. Seuss book where there's words and a picture that flows and then words. So it sort of depends on how the story goes, how I want to word things, etc. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do now. 26 pages done, and I'm done. Now I need to send this draft to the art department and see what they think about all of the drawings. Because I feel qualified to do one or two of them. And there's about 26, so. In the video for the first book, I didn't have a lot of clips of me drawing. And I'm not going to in this video either. But I will do one. I've decided I'm only going to draw one page and send the rest of them to my mom to do because she's much better at it than I am. But for this one, well, first I have this open for reference. The aliens are in fact based on tentacles. So I'm going to just draw a tentacle here. I'm not going to trace it. Nothing against tracing. I probably should trace it, but since I only have to do one page, I'm not going to. And before I do the rough draft, I'm going to do the rough draft and say, here's my box. This is the shape. That's too big, right? So maybe I should do the legs first. Leg like that, leg like that. Based on the leg, body size needs to be like that. There we go. I like that. Eyes need to bump out actually. Okay. Can you see that? You can't really see that? Let me try zooming in. Maybe I'll just use a pen to make it thicker. Looks like that. It's upside down for you, which is sort of just unavoidable. Alright, that's my tentacle. It actually went a lot better than I thought it would. And now I kind of want to do more of them, but my mom's just so much better at it. So I'm probably not going to do these. I'm going to give the rest to her. She's already done half of them. So my mom finished all of the drawings. Just emailed me a copy to review, and they are so good. Story-wise, compared to the first book to the second book, like, I really stepped it up. But now my mom also stepped it up. And now I'm like Lil Wayne over here. Kind of want to redo some of my verses to be at her level, but we're going to go with it how it is. It looks fabulous. It's time to color. Let's go color. So good, right? Look at that. Whew. The book is done. You want to read it? That was a callback to how I ended the first video. However, I don't have my mom to move the camera, so I'm doing it myself this time. What a special day it was in Tommytown. They were finally painting the Acme building brown. The crowd had gathered all up in the crowd to watch Redman painting. It certainly wowed. He was such a fine figure, he stood tall and proud. When he spoke, everyone heard it. He was so loud. Make it one color's enough. Let's cover up all of this squiggly stuff. Honk, honk. A car came down the road. On its hood sat a frog and a toad. Redman, thank goodness I finally found you. You have to help me, I don't know what to do. Smokey the Bear had driven in haste. He knew that there was no time to waste. He had terrible news of a disaster, an alien attack in the woods of Lancaster. They're chopping down all of the trees with no respect for the bees. The animals are scared, the situation dire. I need you to prevent a forest fire. Not to worry, Mr. Bear, I will save the day. Let's go and get gone. Now which way, sir, which way? Redman got in his car and they drove out of town. It wasn't long before the first alien was found. It stood 5 foot tall, plus maybe an inch, and the sight of it made Smokey flinch. A barilla cool alien from the world of Barilla, as dangerous to fight as a herd of gorilla. Any similarities towards products are purely incidental, consequential, unintended, whatever that disclaimer that's at the beginning of books is. That's one of them there. Look what it does. The gem on its forehead started to buzz. With a zap, a laser beam shot from its head. The big tree fell over, instantly dead. Oh, Redman, it's awful what they've done to the trees. There are more up ahead. Let's go faster, please. They drove through tunnels and over bridges, up and down mountains and across ridges. They got to the place that Smokey had seen, a place in the forest that lost all its green. The aliens had cut down half of the forest. They zipped and they zapped, they tossed and they hurled. They're gonna use those trees to take over the world. Redman, that's crazy. How would they do that? To take over the world, you must use a bat. You must use a rat with a buffalo hat, and a real fat cat, and a little bit of rhinoceros scat. At the very least, you will need all of that. Mr. Bear, that is nonsense. I've no time to listen. We must get much closer. Let's change our position. The man and the bear crept closer quite carefully. They hid behind trees and boulders temporarily. Now a bear can hide in the woods quite easily, but Redman stood out like a sore thumb. The aliens had sentries searching for trouble. They saw someone moving. No, make that double. Guards rushed forward and told them to stop. Leave now, Redman. Get gone. Chop, chop. Redman and Smokey got ready to fight. Nothing would stop them from doing what's right. The aliens started throwing giant meatballs. You've been meatballed. Redman started shooting his special spaghetti sauce missiles. This was Redman's most trusted weapon. He never expected what would happen. The missiles exploded in a cloud of sauce, but the meatballs kept going without even slowing. Ah! That's a spicy meatball. You can say that again, Redman groaned. That's a spicy meatball, Smokey intoned. Never mind, once was enough, Redman bemoaned. Odds on my 7-year-old nephew knowing what bemoaned means? Pretty low. This is your last chance to get out of here. Redman and Smokey crawled away in fear. The Barillicools celebrated with an alien cheer. They speak wingdings. Back at the car, Redman thought of a plan to combat those Barillians right where they stand. I'll be saving these pizzas to have them for lunch, but I can spare some of them. I have a bunch. Grab it like this and spin it real fast. We'll show those aliens who will laugh last. The heroes rushed back to the scene of the battle to force the evil Barillians to skedaddle. Alert, cried an alien. Redman is back. Let's try another meatball attack. Shing! That's the sound that a pizza makes when it flies through a meatball, right? We improvised, we adapted, we overcame. Nice throws, Redman, you have great aim. Smokey shouted as the guards ran away. Let's follow them. This ends here today. The Barillians ran away to avoid a defeat. Toot toot, a bugler sounded a retreat. Every single alien started running to the same place. It must be their secret, evil alien enemy base. Those are probably my least two favorite lines of the whole book. Redman and Smokey chased them over the hill, where they found Barillicrool and his dominating will. Billions of trees made up a great smoking tower that Barillicrool had lit with its red laser power. Redman, take another step and you will die. Redman took another step. Barillicrool shot his laser and covered Redman in its glow. Did you think I wear this red costume just for show? Red can't hurt red, don't you know? Yes, of course that was not a real blow. Did it even hurt a little, though? Never mind, I will make you pay another way. But first, I have something to say. We'll burn all your trees down to fill the air with smoke. Everyone will leave Tommy Town, or else they will choke. I'm taking over the earth. This is just the beginning. I planned this since birth. You can't stop me from winning. Redman, you're weak. You cannot harm me. You'll never get through my Barillicool army. Redman, give up. Just let me be. Soon I'll have every single tree. Redman, go home. You don't know how far I've roamed. I won't be defeated by a man whose hair isn't even combed. Redman, you tomato. I'm gonna bury you like a potato. Redman, you... Wait, stop. I'm not done. As fast as Lydia can climb a pyramidia, Redman climbed the tower of trees to bring the Barillicrool down to its knees. They had a great fight. It lasted long into the night. When all was said and done, it was clear Redman had won. Redman tied Barillicrool into a big green pretzel ball. All of the Barillicools surrendered. They were terrified of what they saw. And just like that, the adventure was over. They collected all of the trees cut down, and everyone in Tommytown had 7 Christmas trees in their house that year. Just another day in the life of Redman. The book's done. The challenge is complete. Until next year.
As dangerous to fight as a herd of gorilla. Look at it.
Oh my gosh, look at it.
Looks like a Pokemon or something.
Or something.
They tossed and they hurled. They are going to use those trees to take over the world. How are they going to use them to take over the world?
I don't know.
Well, let's see.
Fire trees at the world from space and they'll destroy houses.
Maybe. That'll work.
Just fire tree trunks down at Earth. Redman, that's crazy. How would they do that? Weapon. He next expected that would happen.
They do.
Sauce and meatballs. Redman, take another step and you will die. Redman took another step. Oh my goodness.